What's up? We'll just go ahead and get started earlier. I'm actually short on the market right now. Probably close it. Yeah, $50. All right. So, morning, everybody. Go ahead and get started. Overnight, nothing really bad. Europe really didn't sell off. UK 100 actually is up a little bit. There's their sell-off yesterday. Today, really nothing. If anyone followed my alert with Europe closing that we might push, always keep that in the back of your mind in the future. That if Europe sells off that strong, I mean, you remember we were green overnight. Europe opens and we fell. I mean, we lost 3% based on Europe news. So I mean, yeah, remember the American stock market's America stuff. So usually, if it's not our news, we might push a little bit when Europe closes, and they close at I think 10:30 or 11:30. 10:30. Pretty good. Nice push. Yesterday I said as soon as we pass that, of course I just changed this. Uh, this 11,700 we're gonna squeeze. You can tell this is a spot. This is what to me this is how I interpret squeezes. That we have just multiple resistances, and eventually we'll break up, and that's where all these shorts are created right here, or whoever's the seller is. We're strong enough to push up, and then we just squeeze over this and just continue up. You can tell yesterday we touched it once, twice, and I was like, okay, we're staying high. The seller hasn't been able to push it down like it has before, like here, and then we just squeezed up, and then just slowly. I said once we get past 11,700, 11,800 will come in no time, and it did. We did break over NQ's kind of supply here. That's why it's not on my chart. We have broken over. So NQ could be, if NQ's strong enough, I mean, we could probably see 12. And this is the bottom of here. We could probably see, 1,200. I don't think this should be this is a little bit of cluster, so we might hit that a little bit. But we do have FOMC minutes today. Let's see what we got today. Mortgage applications, nothing really, nothing. Job openings, JOLTS job openings, not sure what that is. And then FOMC minutes, the notes from the last FOMC, which can affect it a little bit. Not as crazy as FOMC does. So right now we're just consolidating over our previous resistance on NQ. So definitely waiting for the break above here, or if we're going to back test that 11.7, we can possibly back test it and then come back up. So if we want to continue higher, we definitely need to hold 11.7. So let's go ahead and start making our little list for the day. This one was pretty spot on yesterday. That Amazon one fix was pretty good. Just a little frustrated I didn't catch these, so let's go ahead and build this 7-6. FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Eastern. And the main thing to watch too is we have kind of a divergence. As you can tell, NQ right here and here. So overnight low is here. Tonight's overnight low is here. So we are a higher high. With ES, we weren't able to make a higher high. We made a lower high. So definitely keep that on watch. That's just showing that ES is a little weaker. That's a little possible inverted head and shoulders forming on ES. But usually, that's when I'm starting to play, on futures. That's when you start playing NQ and all that, just because it's definitely stronger. But ES, you can tell nothing. You can't really play. There was no squeeze. The squeeze would have been like 38.40. You can tell it really didn't do much after that. This has kind of been a lot different. And you go to NQ. NQ is definitely a lot easier to read lately. That's why you have to chart both ES and NQ. But yes, I'm just watching this. I did a fib from yesterday's high to yesterday's low. Retrace back to 0.5 would be at 3,800. So let's see if we can hold 3,800 or 3,787. So ES made a lower high. So let's see if we can hold 3,800 hold. You can tell we haven't broken past this hour supply we have here. And then 3,900 is probably, if we could break past this supply here, 3,900 is definitely the spot to be. NQ, so we got 3,800 hold. NQ needs a 11,700 back test. Above 11873. 11873. We can see 12,000, which is pretty crazy. Well, overall, like if you go on the weekly, we're just, we've been doing absolutely nothing. We're stuck below this 1,300 since, the beginning of May. And we're just, I feel like on ES, I've been saying 3,800 for the longest time. Right here, we're stuck below 4,200. We just had one pop up, pop down, not really, and this is on the weekly, you go to daily. We've been pretty range bound. Overall, we have this huge, pretty big downtrend. That is. Am I on the right chart? Yeah. But we are making, we are making a little triangle. Let's see if we can get that hold, and we have like sort of a mini one here. But now my charts are getting a little clustered. So if we continue kind of to slowly sell off in the open, I'm kind of watching this 3 hour. It's gonna close. It should close. Yeah, should close by open. So we have this 3 hour right here. So we kind of have a fake out. That would be an ideal play right there. Let's see if we can pop back up into that supply and then sell off again. SNQ. SPY. I mean, I posted this on my Twitter. This is just, look at these 3-day candles. Like, we keep opening high, or we keep gapping down, pushing. Gapping down, pushing. We've done this gap down, push. This is the first time we're actually not going to gap down as strong as we have been. Just look at 373, 1, 3 bounces, 3 days in a row. QQ, we same thing, gap down, pushed up, gap down, pushed up, but we are above. Let's see what the Ethereum's doing. Kind of just looks like the ES chart. VIX, there's that 29.77 pivot. I think if we break above that, we should continue higher, possibly past that 30.24. Or, here's this pivot right here. 1, 2, kind of like 3-ish, 4-ish, and then fifth time I rejected yesterday. But we do have that 26.93 supply demand. Apple, definitely stronger than normal. I mean, the main thing, your Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Google, all strong. Those are your big weighted stocks. Those are all staying strong. So that should help lead the market. That's why probably tech was so strong yesterday. There's Apple. This is what I want to see kind of with NQ, but kind of inverted, where you have your demand. Right here we have our demand created. Then you can tell the next day, look, we came down into it and then continued up. So with NQ on the 3 hour, that's what I'm looking at today. Then we have our supply created. We push down and let's see if we can push back up into it and then continue down. But Apple, that was That was a miss yesterday. So once we hit that, just like Amazon, that first candle, boom, push up. A 4% move. But we've already touched it, so it's kind of gotten weaker. So I like that 36 Apple, 136 key hold. And then I'm kind of watching this. I think it's a 2-day or 4-hour. This 2-day right here, 147 supply. But the main thing is we gotta get past this pivot of 143 and a half, 143. I don't really want to turn bullish till we get past there. Probably take it to 143 up to 147. AM, AMD, not really liking it. It was at a like kind of a must hold. We had this like 72, 72 and a half, and then like you can see if we break below that 72 and a half, I mean we could have dropped pretty far on that weekly chart. On the you can tell on a daily, like look at we have a demand there, a gap up demand there, and we have a gap up demand there. But there was a lot of downside gap. I don't know if the gap was filled. Yeah, the gap filled perfectly. And then we pushed up. AMD not liking as now. I like it if you get shares on it. I think shares are long-term hold. Shares are nice. You can tell. Kind of just broke this flag. Broke down. Made another flag here. Broke down. Meta. Let me go back to AMD. AMD. 2.5 key hold. You can tell yesterday's semis were pretty strong. That's one thing I got on that Meta. I've talked about this. I kind of missed it due to vacation. We had this. I don't like these keys here either. So we had this kind of basing here with a like kind of a drop and then a huge push up, kind of like a springboard. So this would be our demand. And then we had a gap up, broke the previous structure, so it's just showing super strong. You can tell once we came back, we tapped it and then had a huge push up from it. So usually if we do create new demand, or I mean, look at those 1-hour candles, all green 1-hour candles. But when we create, see, that's such a weird demand too. I'm kind of watching this, but this is a big demand. 160.31 demand. And then we have kind of, wonder if we hit that supply after hours. We have this 3 hour where we kind of based here with a strong sell-off. We almost hit it after hours. $169 key level above. So, but Meta, you can tell definitely stronger. You know, it's kind of already back at this consolidation. No ES. This is the consolidation. We basically came halfway back. We haven't hit that yet. Microsoft staying strong. Have a 3 hour supply here, but we have already touched it, so it can be a little bit weak, but we just have that consolidation just like where Meta is. Meta kind of rejected it. A lot of stocks are rejecting that area. Possibly a supply there. Nvidia caught me off guard yesterday. I took a loss on it. Price action is definitely a little strange. Not really. Nvidia's tough. Like what I did yesterday, I was looking at this. You know, we had that supply with a gap down, and I thought we'd get back up to where we gap down and then just continue down. You know, a lot of stocks like to do that. They'll fill their gap up and then continue down. But Nvidia, AMD were strong yesterday, so that's why I took a little loss. It's kind of at a key level here. And then Tesla. Well, let's go typing Nvidia. Nvidia. Say 150 key. Then Tesla. We had kind of missed this one yesterday too. Just a lot of misses yesterday. We had, now showing this, we had a 4 hour, and we also had this 4 hour rally base rally that we already hit once. So usually we hit it, I like to tick it off. And then I was waiting for that 646 to hit, and we hit at We started reverse at 648, so I mean pretty close. Should have taken it. I shouldn't have waited. Sometimes orders don't come right back in at the perfect spot, and there's that 8% move. So first candle down, strong up. So I'm still watching at 646.5. You could still come down here and get some orders down here, or the supplier where we sold off here. We had a 12% sell off. Amazon was another miss yesterday. Even charted this. Where we had it just looked like Tesla. We had a base rally, and then we had another base rally with a gap up. So this is where we hit it. Probably pre-market here. Nice push up. So once we hit it, I usually take it off. You can tell right here, the original one on the 30th, we hit that. This is when we gapped down. This is where we shorted it. Made really good money shorting it to the demand. Got out at demand. You can tell once it hit that, pretty strong move up. 12%. But yesterday I said, usually when we hit demand, we create new demand right here. We have a sell candle with a push up. End of day on the 1st. We created demand. We're able to move stock 4%. We came back down into it yesterday, touched it, and pushed it up again. I think it was that first candle again. First candle down, all the way up. It went 0.66 to I think like 4. So missed that one big time. We are watching that. We have a 4-hour supply. You can tell this is a 4-hour supply. Look, we came back in, touched it here, and continued to sold off. So we have hit it once. $4.71 supply. Google. Remember, Google has a split coming up on the 18th. This is kind of looking like Tesla and Amazon. Most of the stocks, these are all kind of working together. All these are able to break over those supplies. You definitely see the market pushing. Definitely keep Amazon. Google, Amazon. Tesla supply there. Microsoft supply, Meta supply. So if we're able to break over these supplies, we should definitely see some strength in the market. But Google does have its same thing, but it does have its split coming up. Amazon did run up to its split. So did Shop. So keep that in the back of your mind. That Google, if Google gets over this huge pivot right here at like 2370, could have a good move up. I say next 25. 25 would be the next key level. That's pretty key right there. But kind of, if you're looking at this is kind of the same thing Tesla did, Amazon did. You have this base, you have your original base, your push, your base rally, and then you base again. Then you had a gap up rally. You could tell when we came down. The initial, this one was hit here, so we take that off. Then we came down. The same thing yesterday. Hit that. Wow, a lot of misses yesterday. But yeah, this shit was weird. Even pre-market, I was like, this is strange. We had a huge sell-off, long weekend. Market could go in any direction. Let's see what ES is doing. Kind of recovering a little bit. There's that pivot that I want NQ to break. 1, 2, 3, 4 touches there. So they're holding that spot. But I like to see that break. Test that 11.7. Let's go through some algos. Everyone's favorite. See what the market did yesterday. Market, you can tell that put selling right here. People exiting their puts, probably exiting their overnight put positions. And then you can tell where the price goes, up. SPY, I think this was a huge hedge here. And then probably people hedging more. Usually if we have green days lately since the beginning of the year, it's the beginning of the year, if any day is green and you grab a put, far out put, you're pretty solid. It's a good strategy. So far, because every pop has been sold. Eventually we keep going lower, but these are probably a lot of hedges coming in. See what Amazon did. Amazon's a nice push. Very interesting that I didn't add up to the push yesterday. Usually you want the red down here and just flat. AMD, Apple. AMD, there's your selling puts. Someone got out a lot of calls there too. You can tell from here, nice little call buying push up, and then price kind of pushed up a little bit. Apple stayed strong. Buyers are loving Apple. This is what you like to see when a stock pushing yesterday. This just shows you that push was actually really meant it right there. NVIDIA, if I pulled this up on NVIDIA before I got into that, I could have been like, okay, that was not a good idea to get in that put. This just shows you the calls. You can tell people are starting to exit their puts. Boom, another big exit on puts. Calls are staying sideways. Price just slowly increases. Google. This will be a lot better looking when the price splits because there's going to be more liquidity. What was another? Meta. Meta had a pretty good day. You can tell that's beautiful. That's what you want to see. You want to see your call buying. If you would have saw this during the day, you could have been like, okay, call buying is increasing. Put buying staying sideways. You could tell you can bought at 162 and you could have sold at 168. That would have been perfect. So you could have got meta anytime yesterday and did very well. And you could tell put premiums kind of increasing in the day, but a lot of people are swinging puts because we just keep gapping down. I'm soft. Microsoft didn't really go with the stock price yesterday. Kind of low, odd. All right, let's go back. Pretty quiet on the news front. Don't really see much news. Downgrades. Coin, Costco, Fastly, MA, Net, Netflix, PayPal, Square, Visa. So a lot of things are getting downgraded, but you gotta remember we have big tech earnings. Oh, that doesn't show it. Big tech earnings at the end of the month. We have our FOMC, and then we have our quarterly GDP, which is gonna determine our recession definition.
Just trying to find a little bit of news. Yeah, I think a lot of volume's gonna wait for the FOMC minutes. So it looks like we're having a little decent push, and Q wanted to hold that level. Fortunately, I'd like to have that just close a little more bearish. Probably popped up from that right here. 30-minute. Not the strongest, but we did make a low. All right, that's gonna end it for me, guys. Pretty much went over everything. Appreciate you guys. Back at it tomorrow.